Welcome to another episode of Osgoode Community Chronicles, where we explore the rich history, vibrant events, and remarkable stories that make up the Osgoode ward and surrounding communities. In each episode, we dive deep into our local heritage, drawing from the meticulous records and research of our local historians and families. These invaluable resources allow us to bring you stories from the past, ensuring that the traditions that shaped our community are shared with future generations. Whether you're a lifelong resident like me or a newcomer, join us as we tie our fascinating history to the present-day version of our beloved region of Osgoode and its surrounding communities. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Osgoode Community Chronicles, the Goode Run edition, where we're spotlighting the route that the 5K runners are taking around the village for this event. For those who may not know, the Goode Run is a cherished annual event in Osgoode Village, serving as both a community gathering and a fundraiser for the Osgoode Youth Association, better known as OYA. This fun run has become a staple in the community, reflecting Osgoode's tradition of volunteerism and local support, and a little bit of health thrown in. Over the years, the Goode Run has not only promoted physical activity and community involvement, but it has also played a significant role in sustaining youth services in the area through OYA. Its continued success underscores the community's commitment to fostering a supportive environment for its younger residents. A couple of episodes ago, I sat down with Carley Scharf, Executive Director of the Osgoode Youth Association, and she told us that the run has been going on for about 12 years. COVID disruptions make the history a little blurry, but we know it's been a cherished event in our community for more than 10 years, and that's worth celebrating. The route that the committee has set up winds through the village streets and allows participants like you a scenic route that showcases Osgoode's charm. In this podcast episode, we hope to highlight some of the areas that you'll run through in the 5K portion of the event, and hopefully give you some interesting history and information as you journey through it. Naturally, it's tough to keep pace with all the runners, but we'll do our best to provide you with some timely descriptions. Let's go. Starting at the Osgoode Community Center, let's talk about the building and the grounds. The Osgoode Community Center has long been a central hub for local events, sports, and gatherings for many decades. Osgoode Village was established in the early 1800s and was originally named Osgoode Station in 1827. It was named after the first Chief Justice of Upper Canada, William Osgoode, and the railway stop that came through this area, of course, bore the same name, Osgoode Station. Once the railway stop was removed, the name station was also removed from the village, and it simply became Osgoode Village, or Osgoode. Osgoode was built mainly as a farming community in the early days, with land being granted to people who migrated here from Ireland, Scotland, and other areas, with a promise to clear it and develop it. The village was a hopping community, but the community center was built in 1967 as a centennial project and has been home to the hockey rink, community hall, and ball diamonds for a really long time. There's also the tennis court, soccer pitches, playgrounds, and beach volleyball court that have been added over the years. The Osgoode Family Ball Tournament has taken place on the grounds for more than 30 years as well. Every August, the weekend after the long weekend, 16 local families come together to play ball and raise money for a variety of charities. Next to the community center, the Osgoode Library has been a part of our village since 1925. It began in the building on Main Street beside No Go Coffee, across from OYA. The library was located originally at the Fraser Store and Ice Cream Parlor at 5475 Main Street, and Duncan Kennedy donated money to the township for the lot to move the library to across the street. Harry Boyd donated the blocks, and John Robb and Perry Lewis and Cameron McCollum donated their time and expertise to build it. The building remains and was not only the library for many years, it then an ice cream cheese shop before becoming a fast food place since then, and most recently Al's Drive-In Smash Burgers, which opened last weekend. Established through the efforts of local volunteers and community members, the library began as a modest collection aimed at fostering literacy and providing access to information for residents of Osgoode Village. It moved from that location down Main Street to what is the red building just across opposite Main Street and Dr. Dowd Streets. That was where our library was located for a long time. And in 1990, the existing library building was built, again on Main Street, just west of Vance Street, beside the community center. The Osgoode Library grew with the evolving needs of our community, and this new building was the result of collaborative efforts showcasing the enduring spirit of volunteerism and local support. Today, the Osgoode branch continues to serve as a hub for learning, offering a wide range of services and programs for all ages. Its history is a testament to the community's dedication to education and access to information. There are many programs that take place at our libraries, for young families, for seniors, and for all ages in between. Be sure to check out our community calendar on the podcast website for events at the library. As we travel down Phillip Street, we pass the Osgoode Public School, which was built in 1956 as a 3-room facility. Additions have been made over the years to accommodate the growth of the village population, and the last addition was completed in 1967. Internal and external upgrades have continued since then, and a permanent 2-classroom addition was just finished. The Library and Resource Center houses over 9,000 books, and the computer lab is used by students all day long. There are lots of amenities outside for kids to use as well. 2 soccer fields, 2 baseball diamonds, and basketball hoops, as well as play structures and sandboxes. The kids are lucky to have the rink so close by, and they get to use it in the winter months to skate. Osgoode Public School currently has 279 students registered and 40 staff, and together with 50 parent volunteers, they help not only educate the students, but provide classroom help, field trips, fundraising, and other activities. Turning onto Sundstrom Road, we find the Osgoode Legion, another very vibrant building for many years in our village. When we turn away from Phillip Street, south, if you follow, this is the first new development of the village that ever took place. We always referred to Phillip Street as the back road when we were growing up because it's all there was, the main street and the back road. The village atmosphere began with these homes and of course has continued to develop over the years to the larger village it is now. The Osgoode Legion was established in 1959 and serves, as all legions do, as a meeting place and hub for veterans of our military service. I remember a long time ago you couldn't go into the Legion unless you were a member or unless you were accompanied by a member. It was a special place. Many years ago now, it seems, they opened to the public as the veteran population grew older and the younger generation of the military was not sustaining these establishments. These days, the Osgoode Legion is vibrant again thanks to several members of the community that host many regular events there, including darts, bingo, euchre, and sporting events. And of course, special mention must go to the Osgoode Community Outreach Group that meets there every Tuesday. It's an awesome community of 55-plus folks who meet to play cards, games, visit, enjoy a meal together, and more. I was very fortunate to speak with this group in April about this podcast, and I think I gained a few new fans. Sundstrom Road was named after who else? The Sundstrom family, who were area residents for a long time. And indeed, Bob and Mary Ann raised Greg right around the corner. The area of Pearl and Jill Streets was another expansion of the village. The village started becoming more suburban with each new development of roads and homes. Pearl Street is named after Pearl Roger Cleland, one half of our wonderful postmaster team of Stuart and Pearl Cleland. They were a fixture at our post office for more than 30 years, and they lived in the house across from us on Lion Street where they raised their family. My neighbors. Rounding out the edge of the original village, we come along to Old George Street, where the Moses sawmill used to be. This mill, established in 1907 by William John Moses, he came from the Prescott Road at West Osgoode, where the family had another mill operation. And the Moses sawmill played a crucial role in the local economy by processing timber, a primary industry in Osgoode's early days, according to Osgoode Township Museum. The mill was located where the townhomes are now, and also included a planing mill, a feed mill, a sash, door, and blind factory, a cheese box factory, and a huge grain warehouse for flour and feed of all kinds. In our episode of Walk Down Old George Street, you can hear more about the mill and about all the people who lived in that area. McTavish Place was recently renamed from Cuddy Street, which was renamed from James Street prior to that. These were all due to amalgamation and duplication of street names for emergency services. And the McTavish family came from Quebec and Montreal in 1840 and were instrumental in developing the Scotch School on Marvelville Road just east of Highway 31 in Vernon, as well as the church. Alexander McTavish was the first teacher in that school and also an elder of the church. There are very few houses on this road, and we have known many people who've lived in them. No McTavishes to my knowledge, but I expect that McTavish Place is named after this family. Alexander's son, Duncan Byron, was a well-known Carleton County judge, and his son, Duncan Kenneth, was a Liberal Party strategist and one of Canada's leading corporate lawyers, and he was also the chair of the NCC, which of course became responsible for forming the National Capital Region. As a pioneer family of Osgoode, that's who this street is named after. Seems like they maybe could have picked a longer road for these incredible pioneers of our area, though. What do you think? The short road ends where the railroad tracks used to cross. I don't recall there ever being a through road there to the other side of the village where Cuddy Street is now, where Pete and Nancy Loney's old house is on the other side. But the multi-use path is there now in place of the railroad tracks anyway. The pathway was developed as a way to use the old railway corridor and is a very busy path for people walking, running, walking animals, and even biking. I don't think there's supposed to be a lot of motorized vehicles on the pathway, but I know some do use it, and hopefully they do so respectfully. It's officially called the Osgoode Link Pathway because it links the local areas. Our section is 21 kilometers long and runs from Leitrim Road all the way out to Buckle Street in Osgoode. The CN rail line was a major transportation piece of our village, not only adding to the development and the building of the village itself, but shuttling passengers as well as products from Prescott all the way to Ottawa on a daily basis. The clock at the superintendent's office in Prescott was taken to be the standard time. It was called the Prescott clock. As the trains passed the other stations, they would compare and see that the watch of the conductors compared with the standard time. According to the timetable, the trains moving south from Ottawa left at 7:15 a.m. and 1:10 p.m. The first was the mail train, and the later was the accommodation train. The mail train reached Prescott at approximately 10 a.m., and the accommodation train arrived at 5:10 p.m. Regular stops were made at Gloucester, Osgoode, Kemptville, Spencerville, and Prescott Junction. The trains reached Ottawa at 11:10 a.m., the accommodation, and 5:15 p.m., and the Ottawa and Prescott trains crossed at Kemptville. Goods and services, including livestock, were transported using the railway line, but with the modernization of fuel-powered vehicles, rail became a less used way to get around and to ship products, and the railway was pulled out in 1997. The Osgoode Link Pathway was spearheaded by Doug Thompson, Osgoode councillor at the time, and it has become a very useful recreational path and a way to get from our village to many other places without the use of roadways. Kind of like the olden days, I think. Buckle Street is also named after a local area family. James Buckles was one of the first merchants in the village, along with George Craig and George Otto. The Buckles daughters married into the McAvoy family and the Lachlan family. Marlene Crescent is tucked in so that if you didn't live on it, you wouldn't even know it was there. It's a private little windy street like White Spruce, and it pops out on end at Steph Rawlings' place, and at the other end at my sister Lynn's place. The Brutskys and the Potvins live on it that I know of, and probably more people, but those are the two that spring to mind for me. It's a short run. You're probably already done the road anyway. I'm kidding, of course. Coming back out to White Spruce. White Spruce got its name from the village submissions, which is often the way when name changes need to happen. I know this one because my parents and my sister and brother-in-law both lived on Spruce at the time, and they got a vote in the renaming. It was originally called Spruce Street, but with the amalgamation, they needed to change it due to duplication with street names in Ottawa. I think one of the options was Mugo Pine, or maybe that was my dad's suggestion. I don't even know what a Mugo Pine tree is, but I remember that. They had a few choices on their voting card, and when all was said and done, it was renamed White Spruce. White Spruce winds through the back part of the village, and it's quite picturesque in parts. It's nicely wooded still, with many of the homes set back from the road. Definitely not a thoroughfare like Elizabeth has become. No speed bumps here for you. For many years, Ferdinand Street was just farmland. These farmlands have been transformed into beautiful homes, and down Ferdinand Street past White Spruce is the development of Drew Homes by George Drew. If you're wondering why the main road going through that area is called Drew Henry, it's Drew after George and Henry after his wife Claire. Yes, I just learned that too. Claire Henry married George Drew. He passed away in 2001, and Ian took over the home building. On your run today, I'm certain that you've passed at least several homes built by Ian Drew and Company. As you make your way back to the community center, just a quick check-in. Do you realize how many amenities we have here in Osgoode Village? Up until last fall, we had a bank. We have a grocery store, a pharmacy, a doctor's office, a dentist, a physiotherapist, a chiropractor, a Legion, several places to eat and drink, a coffee shop, a music studio, an art school, a driving school, a library, a veterinarian, a hairdresser, lots of hairdressers, an antique store, a dispensary, a fitness studio, a massage therapist, a garden center, a gas station, a convenience store, a beer and liquor store, a fire hall, a concrete factory, a multi-service construction company, and a horse boarding stable, to name a few. We also used to have a llama farm and an apple orchard. We also have a boat launch, a park, a hockey rink, a community center, soccer pitches, tennis courts, beach volleyball court, a skate park, a post office, a youth association, and a whole lot more. Just wanted to point that out. So let's get back to the Osgoode Community Center area as you loop back around there in your run. Back in the day, the community hall was bumping with parties. So many stags and sports teams parties that the weekends were always busy. No one had to leave town to find a night of entertainment. There was always something going on. With the rising costs and liability issues, there are fewer parties than there used to be, but the rink itself is still very busy with hockey. Oh, the hockey! Osgoode has a very rich hockey heritage. The local hockey has been a cornerstone of the community since the rink opened. Osgoode Rideau Minor Hockey is probably the best-known nonprofit organization in the village area. Established in November 1972, offering minor hockey programs and tournaments. According to their website, ORMHA is dedicated to promoting a healthy and wholesome environment where the sport of minor hockey can thrive and be an asset to the children who enjoy playing the game. And if you didn't know, ORMHA is a co-ed league. They operate under Hockey Eastern Ontario, and their programs align with the association. That association emphasizes development as a prerequisite for competition, fostering an atmosphere where respect for opponents and officials is of extremely high importance. Historically, Osgoode Rideau Minor Hockey has seen numerous teams achieve success in various tournaments. For instance, the U11A1 Osgoode Rideau Senators clinched gold at the ORMHA Winter Classic in January 2025. Of course, there isn't just minor hockey in this rink. There's a lot of adult hockey that takes place too. There's long been men's hockey, the Friday Night League for one, as well as some daytime play as well, and women's hockey too. The arena itself was commemoratively named after Stuart Holmes in 2007, who was a longtime resident of our village. He was a tireless volunteer at so many events in the village as a member of the Lions Club, and he and Joyce raised their 6 kids here. Stuart was also very involved in hockey, as you can think with 6 kids, and was a leader in establishing the Osgoode Community Center, which is why it is so aptly named. The Community Center is also home to Canada Day activities every year. Osgoode's Canada Day has always been such a fun and well-attended event. Hats off to the organizers and volunteers who we've watched run this simple, entertaining day year in and year out. Consistently for years, there were a few family activities during the day, a 5 p.m. parade, slices of pie available from the Ladies' Auxiliary after the parade, and a stage show of local talent, and of course, our famous fireworks display. We've lived in Osgoode for a long time, and have never felt the need to go anywhere else for fireworks. Osgoode has consistently outdone themselves with the display for so many years, and we hope they continue to do so for years to come. I understand they're looking for volunteers to help with Canada Day this year, so if you're available, please reach out to the Community Association. And the Winter Carnival used to be the only winter activity that took place on the Community Centre grounds, but that doesn't take place anymore. As the weather patterns have changed, many local communities struggle with weather that's not quite agreeable for a winter carnival. But back in the day, we remember the snowball tournaments, pancake breakfasts, horse-drawn wagon rides, the Carnival Queen contests, and so much more. These community events that take place are the kinds of things that help us to get to know our neighbors and have fun celebrating the rural lifestyle that we all love out here, just like the Goode Run. And there we are, back at the Osgoode Community Centre. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you clocked a great time. This is Tracy Daviero with our special Goode Run episode of Osgoode Community Chronicles, keeping our rural spirit alive, one story at a time. And be sure to check out the other episodes of the podcast and have a super rest of your day.